Howdy dowdy dale. Hello everybody, it is the KOHD here if you're watching on YouTube, or Simple Clips if you are watching on TikTok. As you guys know, the Stranger Things collab fully released yesterday, bringing 2 survivors and a new killer. The new killer being Vecna, which is who we are gonna go over in this video. I'll go over everything in case you live under a rock, or in case you just don't know how his kit works, or you're new to DBD. We're gonna go over everything, how all of his powers work, and what each of his perks do. So let's get right into it.
This realm has been spoiled.
The new killer, Vecna, aka the First, aka Henry/001, is primarily a M2 and ranged killer. So now that you know that, let's get right into the gameplay. I'm going to be using a custom match, just so I can demonstrate to you all better how it works. Alright. You guys probably all know who Vecna is, and I say probably as not everybody knows who he is. Now keep in mind, as I go over his powers, discuss his perks, etc., I will attempt to get a piece of footage to put on screen for you every single time I talk about something new. So, first things first, let's talk about both of his M2 attacks. The first attack being what they call a vine attack, which is where he can select a certain range and position to summon vines from the ground and attack survivors. When a survivor is hit by this vine, and the game is not during World Breaker mode, the survivor will gain 1 World Breaker token to their icon. I'll show you now. Now, another thing is that when Vecna has a attack called, you must go into the upside down, but it is called the gateway attack. Basically, Vecna will be in the ground, and at any point, he can rise from the ground in a gateway attack, which has a massive AoE, and if not in World Breaker mode, will cause survivors to gain 2 tokens to their name, and if they are in World Breaker mode, they will take damage. I'll show you that now. Now, obviously, I don't know if I said this, so I'll repeat it one time. Vine attacks also do damage when in World Breaker. Now let's go over how do we activate World Breaker mode, because that is a very good question to know. So World Breaker mode, as you can see, there is a clock at the top of my screen. Well, there was. But basically, in order to activate the World Breaker mode, which is the clock, you need to get 2 World Breaker tokens on any survivor. Now this can be done by either landing a single gateway attack on them, but that is very easy for survivors to dodge. Or you can also gain your 2 tokens by hitting survivors with 2 back-to-back vine attacks, as long as you hit them successfully. Once any survivor gains 2 tokens, you will enter World Breaker mode, and the sky will turn red. I'll show you that now. Now, now that we're talking about World Breaker mode, let's talk about the clock at the top of our screen. What does that mean? That clock is actually a 2-minute timer. The 1/4 of the clock, which is red and has a bunch of vines, that will always be 1 minute, no matter what. Survivors cannot affect that. But 75% of the clock, aka the white section of the clock, survivors can find 4 separate grandfather clocks sitting across the map. If they interact with the clock, they will begin listening to a song, which will cause the timer to speed up and World Breaker mode end more quickly. I'll show you what a grandfather clock looks like now, and if I have time, I'll play Survivor and show you what it's like listening to the grandfather.
You cannot run.
Now, I don't know if I'll be able to show you during this match, because it does take a bit of time to do, but you guys may know how Pyramid Head has a second morning. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, that can only happen if they are on second hook, have condemned. Vecna has kind of a similar thing. So as you can see, Jill Valentine, who has 4 tokens around her name right now, the 3rd survivor, the 3rd bot. Now keep in mind, you can tell if a token is actually filled if it is glowing. So Vecna can get a second Mori called Mindbreaker. In order for his Mindbreaker to activate, the survivor needs to be on second stage hook, have 4 World Breaker tokens, and even after those requirements, you have to make sure they are injured and then hit them with any sort of M2 attack while they have the 4 tokens and are in World Breaker mode. So to simplify it, you need to be in World Breaker, they need to have 4 World Breaker tokens, they need to be on second hook, you have to be in World Breaker mode, and you have to hit them with any M2 attack. And that is how you can get the Mindbreaker Mori, which I'll go ahead and show you that here now, because that may sound confusing, but I'll go ahead and show you the footage right here, right now.
Prepare yourself.
Alright, anyways, now that that is done, we can talk about another little annoying thing where basically, what do you call it?
Little time left.
The gateway attack. Obviously, as you know, I already said, it has a large AoE, but it is very easy to dodge because it spreads kind of slow. One more thing to note about the gateway attack is if you are too close to a hook, like I am near it right now, the gateway attacks will actually occur much, much slower. In my opinion, I'd say it's about 50% slower than a regular gateway attack if you are near a hook. Which makes it very easy for survivors to escape. I'll go ahead and show you the footage of how slow the gateway attack is near a hook now. Anyways, now we are going to talk about Vecna's 3 teachable perks that come with his character. Let's get started. Last thing before we start talking about his perks, ladies and gentlemen, a few things I forgot to mention about his power is that when it comes to the World Breaker mode, the timer kind of varies depending on how many survivors are alive. I did actually forget to say that. And also, every time you use your upside down ability, it will have a 30-second cooldown. I just like to say that. So anyways, guys, let's start talking about Henry's perks. Vecna's first perk, which is Turn Back the Clock. Basically, after cooking a survivor for a time span of 40, 50, or 60 seconds, you will press your ability button to make a target generator within your vicinity of 20 meters explode, lose 10% of its progress, and start regressing. Now, a little side catch that I've realized the perk does not tell you, you have to be looking at the generator. It has to be within your line of sight, not through a wall or through a floor. I wish the game would have told you that, but it does not. So I will show you footage of this perk now. Now that we have that out of the way, his second perk is Secret Project. Basically, what Secret Project does is whenever a totem is blessed, cleansed, a random unblocked generator will be blocked for 30 seconds. Whenever one generator or more is blocked, you will gain undetectable status effect for 30 seconds. And in case you don't know, undetectable hides the killer's aura, terror radius, and red stain. I'll show you footage of that now. And lastly, the third perk, Hex Hive Mind. Basically, whenever you hook a survivor for the first time, any non-hex totem will become a hex totem. When that hex totem turns into a hex totem, all generators will be highlighted, and the intensity of the generator's auras will reveal their repair progress from white to light red to insanely dark red. Now that is the passive effect, which I will show you now how to activate it in the passive effect. And lastly, the final effect of this perk of Hex Hive Mind is that when one generator remains and there are no more generators left to do besides one, all remaining generators will explode, lose 10% of their progress, and start regressing, which will also make the Hex Totem become dull. And if you don't know what a dull totem is, that is basically just a totem that is not blessed or hexed. Well, everybody, I want to say thank you for just listening to me talk for all this time and just not shutting the fuck up. I appreciate a lot that you actually watch this content. I feel like nobody would actually want to watch this garbage, but still, I thank you for watching. Now, soon I will have 2 more new videos out on the Dustin and 11 new survivors, and I'll also have more videos out on shit like the Rift, the new cosmetics, and etc, etc. So without further ado, I hope you guys tune into the next video. See you guys next time.